Hey everybody, welcome to episode 115. I've been, I've been wanting to comment on this. I don't know if I necessarily wanted to make a video. It's been out for a little over a week, I think now. I do want to comment on it, actually. I've been talking with I went over this list with a couple of my friends, different friends, and we kind of went over the lists together, and we had our things to say, and I don't think I'm not speaking for those guys, but I'm speaking for myself. But we were pretty much on point on almost everything on that list. Of course, we're talking about Rolling Stone's 250 greatest guitar players of all time. Are you sure? Seriously. Well, first of all, I want to say, and I can't remember the guy's name. He's got a YouTube channel. I should have remembered it. The crazy English guy that's all super spastic, with the long hair. He did his own little take, and I think I'm gonna try to go through these quick. I'm not gonna really pause on much. There's probably, I have no idea who most of the blues players are, and that lies a problem as well. If these are the greatest guitar players of all time, meaning what? Of what? Of rock? Of country? Of blues? Jazz? I mean, it's funny. It's like they throw some blues players in there, which is fine to a point, but but then you don't cover. It's like really they only I think there's maybe 5 country players on there. You're trying to tell me there's not more than 5 greatest guitar players that play country of all time that are not as not as good as some of these listings on here? You're out of your freaking mind. I'm going to be saying that a lot, is they're out of their freaking mind. So who are you talking, what about of all time? What about famous classical guitar players? What about, it reminds me, I don't think the guy who did Classical Gas, Classical Gas on there. I don't think he's on the list. I don't believe. And there's no honorable mention section, which there shouldn't even be, because I would say 50% of the list, 40% of the list are honorable mentions. But there's I think 3 of them that I can think of off the top of my head that are completely omitted from the list, and you're like, huh? Okay, so obviously, I don't know who Michelle Thompson is. Is it an illustration by? Now, who wrote the article? It says the illustrations by Michelle Thompson. Sorry, I'll pull it up in just a second. I'm just curious. Who wrote the article? We'll find it. It's on here somewhere. And it's. I'm not trying to call the person out and say, hey, you're an idiot, although they're an idiot. The person who wrote the article is not in question, but the idea of the person, the archetype, the whatever you want to call it, the pigeonhole of the person who wrote the article, I can only imagine that they're probably a millennial or a zennial. If not, maybe they are a boomer or a Gen Xer, maybe. I don't know. I don't know much about the person, because I can't even find the name. And I don't know if it was a group of people who put this list together. I don't know who was in charge of research or what was going on as far as research. It seems like, my overall opinion is that they got together 250 names and they just threw it in the air and said, okay, we'll save the top 10, put the top 10 aside, okay, and then throw the other 240 up in the air. Because there's some on here, it's just like, what are you talking about? There's some people who are so overrated by most people's standards. There's some people, it's like, sure, maybe some people had influences or contributions to whatever. I'm really sick of the whole, they're so influential. That doesn't make you a great guitar player. You know what I mean? I could have hit 3 notes on a guitar that nobody's ever hit in their entire life and put together some crazy guitar sound that nobody's ever heard of. And and it influences a generation, right? Multiple generations. But does that really make me a good guitar player? My idea of the greatest guitar player is, to some extent, how influential they are. But it's not just, it's the contribution to the band. It's the band's contribution to music history. You know, you've got, it's the contribution of of albums, of songs. Why is it that if you look at Rolling Stone's top, like, 250 albums of all time, you got like 3 Beatles albums on it, yet you put most of the Beatles in, like, some of them are like in the hundreds? Really? Well, then how if these guys are not as good as, say, fill in the blank, you know, indie punk person, right, who knows pretty much just power chords? At what point does that, you know what I mean? It's okay. So how did they get, then shouldn't the punk people, shouldn't the punk person's album be in the top, you know, 10 of albums of all time? They're the greatest guitar player in the world. Okay, so that said, let me jump into the list, because we're going to have to go kind of quick on this. And like I said, I'm going to tell you my omissions first. Like I said, I think I can think of 3 off the top of my head. And we'll check to make sure they're not in here as I go through this probably like the 30th time. And I'll give you, I'm not going to give you my 200 top 50. It'd take forever. It's insane. But I'm going to tell you, well, I won't give you, I guess I'll tell you my omissions, and I tell you where some people need to be replaced. And that's as we go. So let's just do that. So let me jump over. Let's make sure I got up the right screen. Yes, I do. Okay, so let's go over, and I'll stay here on the side because you can still see the article. So here's, of course, here's the Rolling Stone article. And hopefully it doesn't crash on me like it always seems to do, or send me up with 9,000 advertisements. Okay, first off the bat, I was floored. I mean, I didn't, it's like, did I click in the wrong spot? I was floored that Andy Summers is the least greatest musician of all these people in the list. Like like I said, I'm talking about punk players that know power chords only. You know, we're talking about you know, just some people that have such a short life. It's like Andy frickin' Summers of the Police, who played with Sting on the Police albums. First of all, I want to know what's going on. Why does the Police keep getting snubbed so much? I see them snubbed everywhere. I also noticed that nobody likes my Police video. Is everybody instantly all of a sudden just hate the Police? I don't understand that. But yeah, Andy Summers, the last one. Are you out of your frickin' mind? Apparently there. I don't know who this person is. Robbie Krieger of the frickin' Doors. Again, 248. It just keeps going. Ricky Wilson, the guy from the B-52s. Yeah, it's the guy from the B-52s. Yeah, I mean, this guy, and he's good. You know, I mean, I mean, he's got some licks that he did that are pretty much, you know, but they're going to throw him all the way back down here. Okay. Paul Simon. Are you serious? Paul Simon that far down, right? It's mind-boggling. Leslie West that far down. I don't know who this guy is. Classical guitar player, I'm assuming, or Spanish flamenco. Dominican Republic. I'm assuming Spanish flamenco guitarist. I guess flamenco isn't always Spanish, isn't it? Isn't there Italian flamenco too? I don't know. Like I said, I don't know a lot about it. You know, I own a classical guitar, but I was kind of going to get into flamenco guitar playing, but I kind of, I was, for a hot minute, I was interested in it. These two yahoos, who are these guys? I don't know who they are. Like I said, I want to kind of go quick on this stuff. So yeah, so like I said, I paid attention for the most part to most guitar players for my entire life, and I'm 50, right? And I've been into music since the late 70s, and I don't listen to, I would say probably 90% of all music after Nirvana of 1991 I don't listen to. So that shows you my where I know about the people of the last, say, 30 some years. But I don't. There's not that many memorable people. There's a few here and there. Like I said, they're not. I don't. I'm not discarding the entire last 30 some years. What I'm just saying is, I'm probably more than one hand, but there's a small amount of people. I don't know who these guys are, so I guess I can't comment on them. Lindsey Jordan, I just kind of quickly looking at the band, don't know. But these are the type of people. I'm not taking anything away from these people, but when you're talking about the greatest guitar players of all time, these are the type, these not so popular or less popular people, right, who, regardless of their talent, right, I would probably put them towards the back of the list just because they're not as well known. Obviously, you get well known if you're a really good guitar player, and you should get, you would think that the cream rises to the top, so you would assume that your popularity level would increase along with your your ability. Keith Urban, I've heard of him. I don't know what he does, but again, I would put people lower down the list like this guy. Maybe he doesn't belong there. Maybe he belongs higher. I don't know. Don't know. I'm just looking at the indie band. Dwayne Eddy, I know. Well, Rebel Rouser. That's right, Dwayne Eddy. What do you mean I don't know who he is? Yeah, Rebel Rouser, Peter Gunn. The Peter Gunn track, Rebel Rouser. I mean, it's old music, but I mean, it's pretty well known. But again, just like the indie people, not super well known. So I would probably put him towards the back of the list. He's not even of his time period, he's not a Chet Atkins, he's not a Les Paul. But, I would put him, down here, like somebody like Johnny Rivers, right? Johnny Rivers I would probably put somewhere in the 200s, or maybe even the late, hundreds. I don't even think he's on the list, Johnny Rivers. Secret Agent Man, oh, come on. Doug Gillard, don't know him. Again, I'm not going to waste too much time here. Jennifer Batten, did I go to 6th grade with her? Oh, no, it was Carrie Batten. Anyways, I don't know what she does. Okay, I'm just going to skip over. Greg Sage, isn't this the guy from... Oh, no, I thought it was the E Street Band guy. I don't know him. Lauren Marlin. This will also show you how much knowledge I have, or like I said, how much knowledge I have some of indie stuff or some other types of stuff. Don't know this person. Heard of her. Dave Williams, I'm assuming, probably played with... Oh, it's Michael Jackson on stage. Okay. I'm assuming he played with Michael Jackson? David Williams. He's not one of the Jacksons. Okay. Regardless, don't really know who he is specifically. Etta Baker. Folk. I mean, yeah, you're going to throw folk music in here. There's a folk music person on here. I am floored that they're so high. Regardless of their contribution to music. Just their guitar. We're talking about this. So you could rename this greatest guitar players or most influential guitar players of all time. How about you put it that way? Don't put the greatest, because even if you're highly influential, doesn't mean you're a great guitar player. It just means maybe you got other talents. Maybe you got really lucky and you came up with a cool lick people liked. Barbara Lynn, don't know her. Steve Jones, why is he sound familiar? Is it from the Sex Pistols? New York Doll, turned Sex Pistols manager. Oh, from the New York Dolls. I don't know much about the New York Dolls. I know who they are, I just don't know much about them. I don't know who this guy is. Don't know who she is. Oh, there's the guy. Okay, the guy from the MC5. Yeah, I mean, he's a great guitar player, high energy, I wouldn't put him in I'd probably put him somewhere where he's at, maybe a little higher. I think that the MC5, seeing that they created punk music, I think they're a little underrated, but I would put them higher. Maybe not, but not too much higher. Marv Tarplin, don't know him. Joseph Spence, don't know him. Molly Tuttle, don't know her. James Blood Ulmer, don't know him. Courtney Barnett, don't know her. Okay. Glenn Tipton. For one thing, they do this a few times. I can't stand when they put two guitar players together. Again, so what are you saying? Are you saying that their contribution to music, their influence, or, you know, whatever, is that what puts them on there? Or are you going with their guitar ability? I mean, they're both outstanding, but I'm assuming one's probably got a little bit better, is a little bit better than the other, I would think, maybe. If not, it'd be very weird that they're both like at equal levels to be listed together. But seriously, the guys from Judas Priest, they're classically trained, insane talented guitar players. You're putting them this far down the list. Lizzie Hale. I don't really know her music. I just like saying Lizzie Hale for some reason. I don't know. She's got a cool Explorer though. She's kind of. I'm getting kind of this PJ Harvey / Joan Jett vibe coming from her. Thomas McCleary obviously plays with, or at one time played with Lionel. Steve Hackett, that far down, seriously. I'm not a huge Genesis fan. And old Genesis, I'm not a big fan, right? But I can't deny or you know, say that Genesis, especially Steve Hackett's playing on progressive rock, is not influential or talented. Like I said, this isn't a talent list. This isn't a who's got the most talent, who has the most skill list. No matter, even if they're trying to frame it that way, because it's not what they're saying. And say what you're saying. You got a whole magazine to write an article about. Why don't you go through a couple of pages of dissertation explaining your logic first, and then get into it. Or maybe they said it at the beginning. I didn't read it. Kurt Weill, don't know who he is. Don't know who she is. Don't know who she is. Jose Menendez. No, that's not his name. It's Feliciano. I've heard of the name. Still don't really know him. Nick Zinner. I like the Yeah. This is probably a good spot for him on the list. He's good. Don't know who that person is. Gary Clark, nope. I'm not going to pronounce that name. I can't figure it out. Justin Broderick. I thought it was Eminem at first. Don't know who this person is. Phil McCrevis. No, wait. Hugh McCracken. Who? Van Morrison. Okay, whatever. Or Steely Dan. I don't know. I don't know. I know who Steely Dan. Really, frickin' Eric Johnson in the 200s. Eric frickin'. Talk to any guitar player, especially like progressive metal, like new progressive metal, or even if you want to talk, even classic guys, right? They'll all tell you about Eric Johnson. Just go listen to Cliffs of Dover. Go on YouTube and find Cliffs of Dover, Eric Johnson. Listen to that. Tell me that guy doesn't have talent, or he's not one of the greatest. Lynn Tate, don't know. Grant Green, don't know. Vince Gill, there's one country guy. Is he that great? I don't know if he's that great of a guitar player. The Diaper Man. I mean, I love the Parliament, the what do you call it? I like Bootsy Collins. I've heard the album. It's good. It's great. I mean, the musicianship's great. I don't know where I'd put him on the list. I guess we'll leave him there for now. Load more. This is usually when the site crashes. So I keep checking the time here. If I get to a certain point and I'm taking too long, I'm going to have to skip to like the end. Don't know who the Kingfish is. Don't know. Or Jerry Reed. Seriously, here's a country guy. He's probably one of the greatest country guitar players that ever lived, next to maybe like, Roy Clark. I don't even think Roy Clark, now that I think about it, Roy Clark's not even, Roy fucking Clark is not on this list. Go listen to Roy Clark playing guitar. Watch the episode. Go try to find up the episode of The Odd Couple, and watch him do a performance on live on the recording of the episode of The Odd Couple. Go listen to that. Tell me that guy is not one of the greatest guitar players of all time. Nuno Betancourt, he's good. He's pretty good. Not a huge Extreme fan. James Taylor, he's a great songwriter. He plays pretty simple guitar. He plays the guitar like I kind of like to play, just simpler, more rhythm-based, melodic guitar. I'm not into sweeping and shredding. I'm just not into it. A lot of these people are shredders, right? And like I said, I don't discount their ability, but I've gotten bored of shredding now that I'm 50. When I was like 12, 15, 16, I thought shredding was like, it was all about flexing on who's the best, right? Who's the king of the heap, which is what this list is supposed to be. And I thought the person who could play lightning fast with more notes than they actually exist, I figured that was the person. What's with the dancing Asian girls over here? The K-pop Korean. What do they call those dancing people? Okay. Anyways, Jesus, I'm just gonna get nothing but ads aren't I here now? Let's see. What was I saying? Okay, but anyways, James Taylor, I don't know. He's not. I don't know him for his guitar, but more for his guitar is songwriting. Is that the guy from Black Flag? Oh, hey, he's another guy. It's just like you're playing. You can see he's playing it right there. You're playing just power chords, but he's way down on the list. So, like I said, this is where I'd probably put some punk people. He's way down the list. Sure, they wrote some cool stuff. Maybe they're influential, but as far as guitar playing ability, they're okay. I mean, obviously they could get up and play in front of people, and they could. What I'm saying is they got more experience and they're better than I am. But yeah. Thin Lizzy, don't know enough about Thin Lizzy. Who this guy is? At least I don't think. Running on Empty. Wait, is he a Eagles guy? No, not Eagles. Allman Brothers, one of those type of bands. Running on empty, running on. That's a good song. Is it just him, or is it from a band? Or let's skip over him. Lita Ford. I would not put Lita Ford that far down the list. I would put her higher than that. I don't know who this guy is. Lightning Hopkins, I've heard the name. Jerry Cantrell, isn't the guy from, what do you call it? What's the name of the band? Alice in Chains. Yeah, I believe him there. He might need to come up a little bit more. I don't know who this person is. Don't know. The guy from Toto is the guy who wrote the lick for Beat It for Michael Jackson. I mean, the guy, I don't know why he's so far down the list. I think he needs to come up a lot. Peggy Jones, don't know her. She has crazy hair. This looks like a country guy. Don't know him. Don't know him. Don't know him. Don't know her. Tom Petty? Okay. I mean, Tom Petty's great. I guess maybe his... I can't really make much of a call on him. Again, I would probably put these people in this kind of area where they're just not that super well known. So I'll just skip. Most of these people, I don't know who they are. Roy or Uri Gallagher, don't know. Marty Stewart, heard of him? Paul, for one thing, why is Paul McCartney on the list? He's a bass player. So now we're talking bass players? I mean, I'm sure he can play the guitar, right? But why would, I don't know, it's just weird. But Paul McCartney, influential person? Again, I wouldn't put Paul McCartney on the list. I'd put George Harrison and John Lennon on the list, which I know they're on the list, and I have issues with that placing as well. Pretenders, okay. Alright. Phil Manzara, isn't he from Roxy Music? Yeah. I would probably do a little higher. Don't know who she is. Hate Ashbury. Blah, 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 blah. Again, I'm just going to kind of keep going quick here. Is this the guy from the Stooges? I thought he was from the Stooges. Iggy Pop and Guitarist. Yeah, from the Stooges. Or is he just Iggy Pop's guitarist? I can't remember. I don't really know the guys in the band. I just know the Stooges. Johnny Winter. He's not super well known. I know who he is. Edgar Winter's brother. I'd probably put him up a little bit farther. Don't know who she is. Don't know who he is. Why John Watson? Why does he look familiar? Yeah, what's his face? The guitar player. Is he the guitar player for yeah, the Let's Get It On guy. What the hell? Marvin Gaye. Yeah, Marvin Gaye. Don't know who she is. Tim Henson. I'm not a big fan of this guy. I see a lot of, I've seen him a lot. I don't know. As far as guitar playing ability, though, he's really good. I would probably put him up higher, just because based on his ability. I'm not a huge fan of him. Again, I don't have to be necessarily into the person to respect them. Kim Deal and Kelly, again, they're doubling them up again. Yeah, I guess that you put them in that kind of area. John frickin' Lennon. Right? I mean, he's not the lead guitar player. Obviously, George Harrison handles most of the leads. But being the lead guitar player doesn't necessarily make you, you can still, if you play guitar and you sing, especially those two in combination, right? And you write really good songs, right? I would have put that in I think that would influence. And John Lennon, the frickin' Beatles. I don't know why the Beatles aren't like in the top 20. If you're gonna throw Paul in there, I want to throw Paul in there too. Johnny Thunder, isn't this? No, New York. Is it New York Dolls? Paul versus the New York Dolls and the Heartbreakers. Oh, from Joan Jett and the Heartbreakers? I don't know. I'm just making. I'm trying to read the list real quick, but I want to get to Pat Metheny. I'm not a huge Pat Metheny fan. I know who he is. Carl Perkins. There's one of these older guys. Blue Suede Shoes. Didn't he play with, what's his face? I'm assuming he played with Elvis? Maybe not. I can't remember. I don't know my Carl Perkins history too much. I don't know who she is. I see that they featured her like on she's like the biggest on the artwork up there. So whoever did the artwork must really like her. Bill Frisell, don't know. Otis Rush, heard the name, don't know. Annie DeFranco, heard the name. Pete Cozy, don't know. Watch the list of Detonate again. We're doing pretty good on time here. Don't know. That looks like Iggy Pop, so I'm assuming... Is he in the Stooges? I think he's one of the guys in the Stooges. But again, like the Stooges, they got one of the Ramones. Is it, what's his face? Johnny Ramone. They got him like way up on the list. No. Over frickin' Paul Simon and frickin' Andy Summers, really? Ike Turner. I didn't know he was... I guess he did play the guitar. I don't know. I mean, he's played with Tina Turner. I guess that's, some of these, like I said, Memphis Minnie, don't know her. Some of these people I would probably put Allman Brothers, I guess they're... I guess it is hard to make a list with some of these people as far as you're ranking them, but I don't know. I would probably go on other metrics like their albums, other than like this, like that type of stuff. I really do not like. I don't like the whole genre to begin with, but Meshuggah, not a fan of that sound. I'm not saying he's not a great guitar player. I have this, just like kind of basic rule is if you play more than a 6-string guitar or a 4-string bass, I don't like you. I'm not saying you can't play like a 12-string bass here and there, you know, but you know, and I like the Cheap Trick and I like Tom Peterson's 12-string bass, but I'm talking about, you know, like the 5-stringers and the 6-string bass people and the 7-string and the 9-string and the 8-string guitar people. It's just Stephen Still, Susan, don't know these people, don't know him. Liz Phair, I don't know enough about her. I've heard of her. Joe Perry. Joe Perry's that low? Really? From Aerosmith? From freaking Aerosmith? I wouldn't put him that low. I'm not a huge fan of him, but I wouldn't put him that low. Don't know. Like I said, I don't know a lot of people, apparently. Dimebag Darrell. I personally don't like Dimebag Darrell. I know my son likes him. But I probably wouldn't put him that far down the list. Joe Walsh, wouldn't put him that far down the list. Nita Strauss, I sort of know who she is. I can't really make a comment on her. Steve frickin' Vai, 120 greatest guitar players of all time. Now, I am not a huge Steve Vai fan by any stretch of the means, right? But I cannot deny his ability to play. And you're putting Steve Vai at 127. Steve Vai easily is in the top 50. Isn't that the guy from that band with those people? What's it called? Yeah, Soundgarden. I don't know. I'd probably put him higher. These guys. Even flow. No, what the? Are these the guys from Pearl Jam? Yeah, Pearl Jam guys. Okay. I would probably put them a little higher. If you're gonna, okay. Here, okay, Nirvana and Kurt Cobain's way too high on the list. But if you're gonna talk about grunge, and I'm not a fan of grunge music, I think that music died with grunge, and I would say musicianship, guitar playing, Nirvana over like Soundgarden or like Alice in Chains or Pearl Jam. No, no question that those guys are a lot stronger musicians. So they're putting way down there. I would say even if you wanted to put Kurt Cobain higher than all of the grunge people, the best guitar player, he might be a great songwriter, he might be a great frontman, but he's not a great or wasn't a great guitar player. I find this stuff is real. He's bad. He's actually a bad guitar player. And that's kind of his sound. I mean, he would probably Steve Howe. No way. Steve Howe easily in the top 50. No way. They obviously, this person who wrote this article, a collection of people who wrote this article, do not like progressive rock. They really like punk and they really like indie music. Dick Dale wouldn't put that far down. Don't know who this guy is. No, I don't hate you boys. I would not put him this far down the list, but if you're going to put Andy Summers and people like that way down the list, then of course they're going to put Adrian Bluth on the list. You know what he looks like there? He looks like, who's the guy from Juno? What's that guy's name? That actor? That's what he looks like right there. I wouldn't put him that far down. Albert Collins, no. Don't know. Nels Klein, I don't know. Which guy is this? Oh, it's two of the guys from, what do you call it? Leonard Skinner. Maybe I'd put. Yeah, I'd probably keep them around there. Don't know. Kelly Johnson. Don't know. Lindsey Buckingham. I think he's a better guitar player than that, but I guess that's fine. Lindsey Buckingham. Mick Ronson. It's the David Bowie's guy, right? Yeah, I would probably put him. Well, I guess I could leave him there. Maybe a little higher, though. I mean, Ziggy Stardust. Come on, some of these are great guitar licks. Merle Travis. I guess there are more country guys on here than I thought. Clarence White. Peter Buck. This guy from REM. That's. Yeah, I'd probably keep him around there. Maybe a little higher. And I mean, I think he's good. Slash, I would definitely probably put him in probably the top 50. I wouldn't throw him that far down. Don't know who this guy is. Nancy Wilson, I would put her higher. I would put Billy Gibbons higher. I would put John Fogerty. I mean, yeah, his guitar playing's pretty good. I would probably put him a little higher. Looks like we're creeping on 100 here. How are we doing on time? Let's speed it up a little bit. Kerry King, I don't like Slayer. I find that this guy is also very overrated, but that's not a bad spot for him, but I would not put him better than some of the other people that I've mentioned before. Tobin Abasi, I just learned about him like in the last few months. He's great. I don't really like his playing. I just, again, there we go. How many? You just play with 6 strings. I find the stuff just not my cup of tea. I don't know who that guy is. Mark Knopfler, I would put him a little higher. Everybody, I would just keep creeping up a little higher, and I would put some of these people I don't know, I'd push them back. You know, I mean, this girl, right? I don't know who she is. I don't know if she's in a band or she's by herself, but just the fact is I've never heard of her. These Korean girls keep popping up. I would not put her better than Mark Knopfler. Joe Satriani, I would put him better than Mark Knopfler, but I would probably move him up a little bit. He's known for his expert guitar playing. Leo Nesenta, I'm not going to say his last name. I don't know who he is. Just looking at the songs. Don't know. He's got some nice orange stacks back there. Don't know. Don't know. Don't know. Lou Reed, I don't know. He's known for his guitar playing, but I probably wouldn't put him that high. Kurt Cobain, 88. I guess it's not as high as I thought it was. And I don't know if this... It seems like this site's been edited a little bit, but I would not put him this high. Definitely, out of all the grunge guitar players, I would probably put him farther down the list as far as greatest guitar player. I like Poison Ivy. I like the Cramps. I think they gave her a little... I mean, all of her influences, Dick Dale, right? All those guys. She's better than her own influences. You know, I don't know. She's good. I'll just leave her there, I guess. Heard the name, don't know the guy. Larry Carlton, Steely Dan guy. I know Steely Dan. I couldn't tell you the guitar player. Yeah, he's good. I mean, the Steely Dan guitar is good. Muddy Waters, he's a classic blues guy. I'll leave him there. The guys from Iron Maiden, again, I wouldn't put them together. I think Adrian Smith is better than Dave Murray, although I like them both. I like them both equally. I would probably... I'd put the guys from Judas Priest and these guys very close to each other. If you're a diehard metal fan, you guys would probably put the guys from Priest higher than the guys from Iron Maiden. I like Iron Maiden better, even though I love Judas Priest as well. I would probably put these guys higher just because I personally like them. But they definitely need to be close to each other, and I would probably put these guys maybe at like about 75, and I would probably bring the guys from Judas Priest up. Wes Montgomery, he's a great player. He probably belongs there. Don't know the guy, at least I don't think. Blackwater Slime. I don't know what's up my head. Don't know this guy. Oh, he raised in the Allman Brothers family. I think he'd be great. I guess he isn't pretty high on the list. Ernie Isley. Like I said, again here, where I'm not really going to move too many people around that much. I think some people need to come up a little bit. I think some people need to be knocked back. Some people need to be taken way out of the top 100, just in general, that I know about. I can't comment on the people I don't really know about that much. Willie Nelson, is he known for his guitar playing? I mean, he's always playing guitar. Songwriting, sure. Leave Willie there. Joan Jett, we'll leave Joan Jett there. I think Lita Ford is a better guitar. I like Lita. I've always liked Joan Jett since I was a kid. I had a huge crush on her. Of course, every girl that I end up having a crush on becomes a lesbian. But anyways, or is one. But yeah, I had a huge crush on Joan Jett as a kid. Huge crush on her. However, I think Lita Ford's a better guitar player. I mean, I like her guitar playing. She's got a cool Les Paul there, nice gold top. Richie Blackmore, maybe a little bit higher, but he definitely belongs there. Who's this? This guy from Dinosaur Jr.? Again, is he really that great? Can you think of any Dinosaur Jr. songs? I know the band. I actually had a couple of Sub Pop singles from Dinosaur Jr. back in the day, back from Sam's Jams. Actually, no, I got them from Sub Pop. That's where I got them from. Hubert Sumlin, don't know him. John McLaughlin, I would probably... I guess he's fine there. Yeah, I mean, Mahu Vishnu work is popular, but they're not super hot. Like I said, I don't know who this guy is. Don't know that guy. Robbie Robertson, I know the name. Again, Les Paul. Les Paul created the Les Paul. I mean, he's a great guitar player. I would probably bring Les Paul up into the top 50, most likely. So he's a little off. Kevin Shields. Don't know this guy. T-Bone Walker, don't know him. I've heard the name, don't know him. Carrie Brownstein, don't know her. Richie Thompson. Shoot Out the Lights, don't know him. Peter Green, looks familiar. Still don't know him. I said I don't want to dwell too long, but I freaking hate John Mayer. I mean, he's a great guitar player, so I guess he's up there, but I just do not like John Mayer. Like, again, I'm trying not to let my own biases, cloud my vision here. Scotty Moore, heard the name, couldn't tell you exactly. That's all right. Elvis Presley guitars. Okay, yeah, Elvis Presley guitars. Robert Fripp. I'm not a huge Robert Fripp. My friend loves Robert Fripp. I think he's great. I think he's outstanding. I think that's probably a good spot for him. We'll leave him there. I do love Alex Lifeson. So nice that they didn't snub Rush. I would probably keep Alex Lifeson. I would put him a little higher than 50, but that's probably a good spot. I could leave him there. These two guys, they're from a band. I can't remember what the name of the band is. Sonic Youth. I have one friend likes Sonic. I'm not a big Sonic Youth fan. Johnny Marr, I'd say that's probably a good spot for him. Mick Taylor and the guy from... can't remember what's wrong. Alright, I can dwell. Bonnie Raitt, great guitar player, country. Yeah, it's fine. I don't know who this guy is. Thought it was Clapton at first. John Lee Hooker, I'll probably leave him there. I don't know who this guy is. Alright, we're getting down to the nitty-gritty here. Going into the top 50. Alright, here we are. We're in the home stretch. Bear with me for about another 10 minutes and I'll wrap this up. I don't know him. PJ Harvey, she's great. I don't think she belongs to be that high. Curtis Mayfield, sure. The Edge, I'd probably put him in somewhere in the 50s, 100s, not that high. Zappa, I'm not a huge Zappa fan. I guess we'll leave him there. I would probably kick him back a little bit. I would Steve Howe, Steve Hackett, Robert Fripp. I'd probably put these guys higher than Zappa. Steve Cropper, don't know him. Maybe I do. Johnny Ramone does not need to be in the 44th spot. I would put Johnny Ramone probably in the 100s somewhere. I would put him back there with some of the other old punk bands. Don't know these guys. They look from a band that I probably wouldn't like. Vernon Reid. We haven't really heard much of Vernon Reid. I don't know what he's doing. I think Living Color had one great album. The other album was okay. My friend loves this guy. The guy likes Robert Fripp. I would probably around here. I would put Fripp probably up farther than him. Bo Diddley, I haven't listened to enough Bo Diddley, but I'm just going to leave him where he's at. Some of these classics I think are classics. Said some of these guys I might know. Chet Atkins, yeah, he definitely belongs that high. Angus Young and Malcolm Young, well, I think Angus Young does. I don't know. I guess Malcolm Young, dude, seems... Again, I like that style, like rhythm guitar playing more than lead guitar playing, but sure, we'll leave him there. Pete Townsend, yeah, I would probably put these guys a little higher, though. I don't know who Elizabeth Cotton is. Eric Clapton, I definitely think Eric Clapton needs to come up. Jerry Garcia, he noodles like crazy. I would probably bring him down a little bit. Brian May, I definitely elevate. I say Brian May's probably in the top 20. I think he's in the wrong spot. I think Clapton's in the top 20. Jack White does not belong at number 32. You're trying to tell me that Jack White is a greater guitar player than Brian May, Eric Clapton. You are out of your fucking mind, Rolling Stone. Yeah, that one right there is egregious. Obviously, somebody has a hard-on for fucking Jack White and the White Stripes, whoever wrote this article, or the people that wrote this article. Does not belong there. No way. You're trying to say Jack White's almost as good as George Harrison. No. I think George Harrison's fine there. I think he needs to come up, though. Neil Young, down a little bit, but I'd say good. Eddie Hazel looks familiar. Is he also one of the Funkadelic guys? The Parliament guys? Maybe. Dave Gilmour? Yeah, I think he needs to come up. Buddy Guy, I would probably bring up a little bit. Maybe. Well, I guess I'd probably leave in the 20s, yeah. St. Vincent, I don't know who this chick is. St. Vincent de Paul, no. My influences are Robert Fripp, Adrian Belew, yet I'm way ahead of them. Really? I find that hard to believe. Chili Peppers guy does not need to be at number 25. Again, this person, the article people have a hard-on for the Chili Peppers. I don't think that this guy belongs that high. James Burton. I know who the guys. James Hetfield and Kirk Hammett, 23. I think they need to come down a little bit. Albert King, don't know enough. I know who he is. I just don't know enough of his playing. Randy Rhoads needs to come up. Stevie Ray Vaughan should come up. I know we're getting to the top 20. Maybe let's leave. I think they need to come up a little bit. Freddie King. Again, I'm not. That's a huge. I don't really know him a lot. Tom Morello does not need to be in the 18th, but you are out of your fucking mind. Tom Morello. Talk about an overrated guitar player to begin with, and he does not belong I'd say Tom Morello belongs in like the hundreds somewhere. She's not even playing a guitar. That's a dulcimer. She's got crazy eyes. I don't know who this person is. I can't say. Robert Johnson looks like a blues guy. Okay. Keith Richards, I think he needs to come up a little bit. Prince, he's great. I'd probably say he's under Keith Richards. Tony Iommi, 13. Yeah, it's probably a good spot for him. I don't know who that guy is. Carlos Santana. I'm not a huge Santana fan. He's a great guitar player. I find him to be a little overrated. Dwayne Allman. I don't know if he belongs at number 10. There we go. Joni. I have nothing against Joni Mitchell. In fact, I like Joni Mitchell. Is her guitar playing that amazing? Just like James Taylor. James Taylor, Joni Mitchell, weren't they married at one time? Oh, this is Carly Simon. They're great songwriters, right? Definitely of that time period, very well known. But are they known for their guitar? Are you trying to tell me that Joni Mitchell could smoke? Here I sound like a 12-year-old again. Joni Mitchell could smoke Robert Fripp, smoke Eric Clapton, Dave Gilmour. Really? Joni Mitchell's better than Dave Gilmour and Eric fucking Clapton? No. B.B. King, great player. Yeah, I'd probably put him down in the teens. Niles Rodgers. Why do I know the guy? That freak. I don't know. That's why I know him from. I've seen him before, so I don't really know who that was. So Sister Rosetta Tharpe. I've heard of her. Don't really know much about her. Jeff Beck, number 5. I know there's a lot of people that would agree with that. There's a lot of people that really love Jeff Beck. I don't know. Number 5? People say he's better than Clapton, I don't know. I guess maybe I would keep him there. Eddie Van Halen, number 4. That's probably a good spot. I would probably leave Eddie there. Jimmy Page, number 3. I can't remember number 2 is. I would probably put Page, yes. Chuck Berry, grandfather of rock and roll, I guess, sure. Let's leave him at 2. And Jimi Hendrix, Jimi Hendrix is going to be number 1. Again, I love Jimi Hendrix's guitar sound. I like that. He doesn't have enough. Like I said, if he lived like another, even if he killed himself or OD'd or whatever, maybe even another 10 years later, we got a little more out of him. I know, and there's a lot. I mean, obviously, like Jimi Hendrix or Clapton and all those guys. I mean, all those guys were seeing him live at the time, playing in clubs, playing at like festivals and stuff. And they owe their allegiance to him. So sure, I'm not going to take him out of the number 1 spot. I just personally, I'm not a huge Page fan. Not Page fan, Hendrix fan. So that's the list. So anyways, I'm just noticing, I think I've noticed another one along the way. Rick Nielsen from fucking Cheap Trick is not on that list. That's insane. He's in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. Buck Dharma, Donald Rosier from Blue Oyster Cult. He's not on the list. All these frickin' indie douchebags and all these indie, dingbats are all on the frickin' list, but the guy from Blue Oyster Cult's not on the list, who wrote Don't Fear the Reaper. No. You're out of your fucking mind. Who was another one? I don't like the Smashing Pumpkins guy, but the Smashing Pumpkins guys, we got all those other freaking grunge guys in there, 90s guys in there, but not Billy Corgan. Billy Corgan's not in there? Really? Who else are we missing? Ace Frehley? Ace fucking Frehley is not in that list? Like I said, they either did so much research that then they had to turn in the assignment, because they got high too much the original night or whatever. I don't know. But they definitely left out some very key important people that I think is shameful that they left those people out. You know, as far as the placing of things, I think the placings in the top 20, the placings are probably pretty accurate. I would say there's plenty of people from the 200s that don't belong there. Plenty of people from a lot of different lists that don't belong. They're either way too high or they're way too low. But I think I could forgive the placing to a certain degree. Some placings I cannot forgive unless it's shameful. I think there are, but I think the biggest egregious, the biggest felony that's here, right, is omitting and totally forgetting. What's Roy Clark? Roy fucking Clark is not on this list. It's mind-boggling. Really, it's mind-boggling. Buddy Holly is not on the list. Yeah. I find that it's like you have way too many nobodies on this list. I think, like I said, I think probably there's at least 40 to 50 nobodies on this list that don't even need to be on the list. I think there's, you're missing, obviously, easily missing at least 10 people off the list. It's a crime that they were not put on the list. So that's what I'm going to say about that. I just wanted to go over this with everybody and, you know, and give people my thoughts on it. Obviously, it was pretty heated about it. I mean, I know everybody's talking about it. Maybe this is just troll. Maybe it's just Rolling Stones just trolling us, and they're just trying to boost Rolling Stone's rating, get people to go to their website by pissing everybody off. If that's the case, you've done your job, Rolling Stone. You've pissed everybody off. Again, I think some of these are subjective, but I think some of them are definitely objectively wrong. And like I said, forgetting somebody like Rick Nielsen or forgetting somebody like Roy Clark it's a crime. It's literally a crime. So I'm gonna the Schenker, bro, the guys from the Scorpion. There's, like I said, I could keep going. Ted Nugent's not on this list. Now, granted, of course, Ted Nugent's totally going to get snubbed because this is a fucking lib rag, and you got King of the fucking what do you call it? King of the fucking alt-rights on there, and you got this libtard magazine. Of course, they're going to snub Nugent. You know that's going to happen. I just find it. That's not. You're doing a disservice to journalism. And your journalism license needs to be revoked, and you have absolutely no integrity. If you had some integrity and you're diametrically opposite to somebody's political views, but you cannot say that they don't belong in certain spots on a list. You're out of here, buddy. Turn in your card, leave it at the desk, take your banker's box, and get the fuck out of my building. All right. That's my thoughts on that. All right, I'll let you guys go, and I'll talk to you on the next one.